Okay, here we are today. I'm working on replacing the chain on my Worx chainsaw, which is a WG 322.9. Now this chainsaw was originally a 10-inch saw. It's a 20-volt Worx chainsaw. I've had it for probably over 8 years or so. Works great, runs off a 20-volt battery. And I just was having problems with the chain popping off. So I noticed that, let's get this here. If you look at the old chain, which is the one on top here, you can see it's longer than the new chain, which is why it's popping off all the time. So I'm just running out of range with this. Now, as I said, this was originally a 10-inch saw, pole saw, and in an earlier video I walked through how I changed the bar out to a 14-inch, and to make that work I had to take this component here off the 10-inch bar, put it onto this 14-inch bar, and it fits up really nice with this drive socket and chain tensioner assembly here. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and have a go at putting this together. I went to my local farm store. I got the 14-inch S52 style chain on this from my local farm store to make it work, and I just always like to thread it up onto the bar first, and it also shows you here how to orient the chain to the saw blade. There's also a little place down here on the saw itself to say the same thing so that you don't end up putting on the chain backwards. So with that done, go ahead and get this in place here, and it just lines up just like that. Now if your chain's not the right size, it could be a little too tight, a little bit too loose. You want to make sure you have the right size chain. Again, that's the one that I'm using. Got that from my local farm supply store, and it's going to work fine. Now the cover actually, when you screw it on, it's got this radius in here that increases in diameter, and that's what throws the tensioner out to make it nice and tight. So you can see that there's a screw hole down in here, and this screw will just match up to that, and we'll just screw that on there like this. And what I like to do is either on the bar there's a little hole out here, or there's a hole back here. Let me go get it. With the holes on the bar, there you can either hang a nail or something and hang the saw on it and off like that, or what I like to do is just insert a screwdriver in here, just wedge it out like that, and then tighten up your retainer here so that you have a nice tight chainsaw blade. That's it. But this saw's a rock solid saw. If you find the chains popping off too much, it's something with the tensioner's not set right. It needs to come loose. Depending on how hard you use it, the chain blade does heat up. You want to make sure you always fill the drive oil reservoir with oil in it, and make sure that that doesn't overheat your chain by not having enough oil in there, and it'll be ready to go. You want to make sure the blade doesn't have any slack in there when you start it. It will once you start running it, but those are the steps for changing your blade out on your Worx 10-inch upgraded to 14-inch chainsaw. So the most important thing is just size your chain. So what I got here is I've just changed the chainsaw blade out on this saw, 14-inch blade. And I've got a dogwood tree here that's probably maybe 3.5 to 4 inches in diameter, that I just want to show how it cuts. It's kind of laying a little funny here, but I just want to show you that the new chain will always cut well. So I'm going to go ahead and always make an undercut first. Well, you see that cuts fairly well. Chipping it out. I'm just going to make a cut on the top now. It's always good to, I see some people will move the saw back and forth. I try not to do that because I think it's a little unsafe. Here I am wearing sandals, but I think it's better to wedge the butt of the saw into the wood that you're working on and then kind of lever it, and you'll get a much stronger cut that way. Okay, I see that's closing up on me, so as soon as I saw that gap close up, I switched out, and I'm going to go back down to my bottom cut. And this will be a little tricky here because of the way this is wedged here and also, but okay. So that's how this saw works. It works really well. Definitely a good saw to have for the homeowner. You don't have to fool around with gas or oil. Worx is a good product. So stand behind this stuff. A little bit of a torque issue. If you force the saw too much, it'll kind of die out with the battery. It's only a 20-volt battery. This battery here is probably about 6 years old, so, but it'll still do a good job. But for the average homeowner, I think this is a win. So thanks for watching, everybody. Take care. Bye.